All right. Welcome to the Rocket Launcher podcast. This is episode 76. A lot of episodes. We are rocking and riding along, I guess. I am your host, Supreme King. Join with me, as always, is my co host, and his name is.
This shit guy Omazes.
How's everything going, man?
I'm tired. I'll be real with you.
You tired?
Work's been busy. It's gonna be busy this upcoming week too. So tired, but I'm good.
I was a little bit busy, but I did manage to get everything somewhat on time. I thought I was actually gonna be late for this, but it kind of worked out last minute to get somewhat on schedule. But I will say for the people out there, thank you for still supporting the channel. I did just put up a video that I think actually just went live like 30 minutes ago, which shows a lot of kind of what I'm still going to talk about today was like a lot of the world premieres that I thought was worth my time. So we're going to get into a lot of the world premiere games from the Game Awards and the awards itself, our thoughts on some of them, and also some of the little things that's been happening throughout the week. And one big thing known as GTA 6 that I think we're going to get into right now. GTA 6, you know what was interesting about it? The trailer released about a day early, later on in the afternoon, because it initially leaked online and people were already kind of making some videos on it, and I was like avoiding it because I was just like, I want to see this in full HD when they pop it out, and it's literally like set to be released the next day. But then they were just like, you know what, bam, here it is. And I looked, I was like, oh shoot, and it was gaining some traction really quickly. And I just wanted to run through some numbers because when I was looking at it, I saw it like within the hour, but it got 17 million views in the first hour of release. And then like I went away and came back about 4 hours later, it went from 17 million to 31 million. Right. And then now officially 4 days later, it is sitting at 134 million views. It ended up being like one of the fastest like gaining views video on YouTube, and it definitely broke the internet and was like trending for a really long time. But I think this might be the biggest, most viewed gaming video period within a short amount of time. Like still there's still probably some other videos out there that got more views right now, but like within the least amount of time, it's the highest. It's like 4 days. It's not even a full week yet, and it's up to 134 million views. A whole lot of people was looking forward to this. I was looking forward to it myself, but how you feel about this? I'll just we'll start with you, and then I'll talk about my views as
Favorite
well.
part of the trailer was how they parodied a bunch of Florida TikTok videos. Like all of these popular videos from Florida, where it was like, look at this ridiculousness, look at this ridiculous, like over and over. And they were just able to parody every one of them to the point where somebody did a side by side with what was going on with the GTA 6 trailer and the video it was parodying, and it looked great. I think the storyline looks fun. Like I like the idea of like a Bonnie and Clyde sort of thing.
Yeah.
There's one I might hop into. Like it's been a while. Like I've played some GTA 5 here and there. I can't say like I went through like the story and things like that. Like I know the story and I played some of it, I watched some of it, and then before that I was San Andreas and I played that so much. But I was never one of the like, oh my god, GTA. Like I just wasn't. Uh, but the story for this one seems interesting, so I might hop back in.
I don't do a lot of the degenerate stuff in GTA anymore, but I did appreciate the story. I might just go in it and like goof around a little bit, but like not enough to be able to perform like or like post a lot of those clips that I've seen over the years for GTA 5. Like there are some people who have like full blown YouTube channels where they only post GTA 5 footage and like pretty much like turned it into a like career because GTA 5 lasted so long. But I'm definitely into what the story is going to be. I knew about the dynamic for a long time. People was already saying there's going to be a female protagonist, and then also the dude is supposed to be your boyfriend. One thing, I don't think we know his name, but I know everybody knows the girl's name is Lucia, I believe.
Yeah, I believe his name was Luke.
Luke.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm looking at it,
Because a lot of attention was more around her. She looks a lot better than the leaks that happened a little bit last year. Because I had a whole bunch of those videos.
I would drop Jason.
Jason.
Not even Luke.
Oh yeah, I don't know where you got Luke from.
Yeah.
But okay. But I remember when a whole bunch of leaks came out and it was like 90 plus videos and the footage didn't look as good. It was like more alpha footage, but it looked a lot more similar to GTA 5. And then I saw like another leak where they were showing like more gameplay footage of GTA 6. And what was interesting about it is it looked like it actually was up to date where GTA 5, like of course it was going to be up to date, but I know with GTA 5 when people show off their PC builds and stuff, they like to, use all the features from their graphics card to make it look really, really good. That with a whole bunch of mods, but you could tell it's like glued on top of the original model of Grand Theft Auto, where this one is like really built from the ground up and it looks way more like fluid in motion, the way that they move around and stuff. The physics look a whole lot better. It's a lot better than like a high end PC GTA 5 mod, basically. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna be playing it probably day one. I think I probably will get it day one because this is one of those games where you probably would want to be a part of that moment before everybody start doing all their cheats and mods and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I know afterwards you're just gonna see chaos. It's just going to be chaos around this game, especially on the PC side. But I can imagine at the very beginning the servers may crash a little bit. I don't know if they're going to be ready. Because like Fortnite or something, I think it was Fortnite last week or earlier this past week had like a season update or something. And like the people couldn't get into it for like an hour at a time or something. I was like, yo, to play Fortnite? So I can imagine the GTA Online part. Oh my gosh. But I'm more interested in playing the story. And then afterwards I might goof around a little bit here and there. I don't think I'm going to be one of those people who going to continue to play this game for like 10 plus years and do a whole bunch of mods and stuff. I might dip in every now and then. Like the Cops and Robbers mod is always fun on each game, but yeah, big game, huge game. It's not gonna come out in 2024. I might be one of. Yeah, go ahead. I was just gonna say I might be one of the only people who's happy about that like open-ended 2025 release date, because to me it tells me that they're willing to give it the time it needs. They're not going to rush it. GTA of all, brands has the money to do that. You don't have to have like some executive down your throat trying to like get you to put it out immediately. So it might still obviously have a bug here or two, but I think it's going to be well polished at the beginning of the release.
Oh, that's good. A lot of people got upset by that 2025 release date. They wanted it 2024. In my head, 2025 just means 2026 based off of like other games and stuff. So I'm hoping it is 2025. But
I think it's holiday season 20.
Come out ready. That's what I want it to come out.
Yeah.
Ready.
So yeah, because they gave themselves enough time. Like the trailer was a nice trailer, and then like I really think it's gonna be holiday season 2025. So it's gonna be almost 2 years. Okay. But one thing I like about the trailer is it just captured the like atmosphere of it. Like they're very good with that. They got the
Yeah.
music right, and like all of the TikTok type videos and stuff. It really shows you like the culture of today. Because that was something I was wondering, like how are they gonna get the culture right? Because it's not like everybody's so glued to their phone now. Yeah, and they did. They got it right. It's funny because also with GTA, like there's already starting to grow like a enemy list, I guess, against this game. People are already trying to act like they want to have it banned and stuff.
Oh, I
It's,
saw that. The dude who
yeah,
said they were marketing this stuff towards children. I'm like, M rating. Like the first thing it has is an M rating.
yeah. There was like a dude, like one of the TikToks, I guess, was of a guy who calls himself Florida Joker or something.
Oh yeah, yep.
And I guess he wants to sue for like 2 million or something. The dude is looking for a payday.
Yeah, but it was mocking him.
Yeah,
Parody law. It wasn't exactly him. It
yeah.
looked different enough, and it just so happens to be in relation to something he is also in relation to. That's
It's
how
kind
they
of
skated
goofy.
around it, because they also made fun of one of the Karens. The girl that was twerking on top of the car while it was
Yeah.
moving. A bunch of people playing in the mud. Like they were able, like somebody even pointed out, like one of the characters looks exactly like this one cosplayer. Uh, and it might have been modeled after her. Like she even said it's me in the video. But yeah, it looks goofy. They got around it though. They know what they do.
I was joking with somebody that I know that's in Florida. I joke with him about like living next to alligators and stuff, and I was like, you know, it's got to be true if they show alligators more than once in this trailer, and they kind of did.
Yeah.
They show an alligator more than once. So I expect there to be alligators in this game. However you interact with it, but at the same time, there's going to be sharks and stuff out there in the sea. I hope they do actually have a megalodon in there because I know people was trying to mod it before, but it's still Vice City, so it's going to be Vice City many years later. So I'm pretty sure some of the landmarks are still going to be there, but it's going to be completely transformed in a nice big city. The map is still supposed to be like 2-3 times the size of GTA 5. And I think they said it also was supposed to be over 300 missions, well thought out missions.
Hey.
And at some point, I think they said it was also like a budget of like $2 billion with a B. So they put real money behind this. And so,
Don't make it back.
yeah. What's interesting, because I don't want to throw too much shade, but I'm going to throw a little bit of shade. They did everything right. Like they did everything that they did right is what Saints Row did wrong. Like,
Well,
like quite literally, it was like Saints Row had the chance to be like an early GTA if they had did their stuff right, and then also the gameplay could have been a little bit better. But their trailer was just for Saints Row. I do want to go there real quick. This is the part where I get canceled before we move on, but I don't care. I want to say this. Thank God that this was not developed by a PlayStation studio. Do you know how ugly this girl would have looked like if she was a PlayStation studio? She would have been looking like one of the... all right, we're done. We're done. I ain't going to do it. I want to do it. I've already kind of did it. But man... Thank you to Rockstar for understanding the assignment that you can actually be a woman and be feminine and beautiful and still get, you know, your job done as far as like whatever it is that you're doing in the game, basically. Like, thank you. Because, like, I think I ain't the only one who said this. I saw this a couple of times, but I'm just like, ugh. You know what I'm saying? For certain games. And it's like, finally, you got an actual woman here. Look like one, you know, sound like one, moved like one. She had her man. They was handling business. This is a very relatable type story for a lot of people. I've heard of Us Against the World. Everybody used to say that all the time. And so this is going to relate. There's going to be plenty of girls who's going to hop on this. They're not going to feel like, you know, they don't belong and not included and blah blah blah. It's like, thank you for doing this correct. All right, now that I'm canceled, you want to tell us about Sea of Stars? We're gonna probably jump into this Game Awards stuff anyway, but give us a first impressions. Go ahead.
This game was won best like indie game, one of them, right? The best indie game category. Personally, it would be my game of the year. Now don't get me wrong. I 100% I called before that Baldur's Gate 3 would win, and it rightfully won. But for me personally, this is my game of the year. The story is wonderful. The characters are so lovable. Like it's one of those just like
you sound like
you end
Disney.
up caring. Hey, I don't care. You end up caring about these characters. Like they give them great personalities. Plays out so well. Without spoiling anything for those that want to play, the story is basically about two. I don't know if they're siblings, but like two people who they're like since birth their destiny was to save the world. So it's like realizing their destiny while their best friend who is not supposed to be there is like, let me help y'all. Like that's the kind of the idea that it's just all their adventures along the way, as they go and try and save the world. It was a really cool game. It's turn-based RPG. A lot of like shout outs to like, you know, how the old JRPG be, while still keeping it relatively like, I guess, modern and stuff like that. You could tell that the devs like really cared about this. Lots of puzzles and things like that. The turn-based battles are satisfying. The different characters. The story goes all weird and stuff, which is also cool. And it was just a really well done game.
All right.
Also, the music is fun, which is an important aspect for RPGs. Like the music just kind of keeps you going. Again, like the puzzles are relatively creative. There's reasons to keep going, like back to like certain areas and things like that. They got a bunch of little also like mini games in there as well. So, and the boss battles are pretty good. Also, so yeah, definitely this is if you like turn-based RPGs or you're interested in turn-based RPGs, and you want one to even just give a try, this is what I strongly recommend.
All right. Awesome. I do have this wish listed. It was two games that I think were in genres that I'm kind of getting into new, like that I don't really get into as much outside of like the old stuff. Sea of Stars I think was one of them, and I think it was I gotta get this name right. Is it Star Ocean: The Story R or The Story of R?
Yeah,
something like that.
Star Ocean, yeah, Star Ocean.
The Story of R, I think, or so. The story of something with R on it. I know everybody knows what I'm talking about.
Star Ocean, The Second Story R.
Yeah, The Second Story R. It's those two particular games that I have wish listed that are slightly outside of the genres I normally get, but I wanted to try. And I think the East series, YS. Those yeah, YS. I think it's YS.
YS.
Yeah. It's I grabbed a couple of them, so I was typically done with buying video games, but one of them or two of them was like really on sale. I think on the PSN East Origin was like $5.99. I think if you got it physical is normally like 30 or 40, and digitally on like a lot of the ecosystems is usually 20. But that's like technically the first one you would play in storyline timeline, and then East 8 and 9 are like the main ones that people are getting because they're like the like most recent, and also like I think there are PS5 versions that have like all the discs on them, or all the discs all the DLCs on the disc. One of those two I think went down in price more than what it usually does, and so I ended up just grabbing the other one because I think it was 9 went down in price but 8 didn't, and I was just like, well, I have that kind of thing. I don't know if they call it OCD. I kind of want to play 8 before 9 kind of thing. So I just went ahead and did it. I went ahead and got the other one. So I'm still waiting for all of it to come in the mail. Except for the PSN game. But yeah, like or East Origins. That one I got already. But I went and looked up like a play order, and once one of the physical copies come in, I'm gonna write it all down and put it within the actual disc, so I just know. I did something like that for Resident Evil a while back, and I'm just now starting to go through all of them. But yeah, so those are some of the games. Right before we jump into the Game Awards, I think we could probably speak on one thing with PlayStation, because the God of War Valhalla free DLC was actually leaked early, or they announced it. They announced it early, I guess. So it's technically supposed to be released on the 12th. By the time this comes out, it'll be about like maybe 48 hours later. But yeah, it's a roguelike little thing where you keep just fighting everything. I'm somewhat interested. I'm still more wanting to go against the berserkers more than anything, but I might dive into that and see how that goes, and then maybe fight one or two more berserkers, and then I'm gonna finally just go ahead and uninstall it, because the game has been on my PS5 for over a year, and I played it when it first came out and then didn't play it no more. But are you gonna play this Valhalla?
I think so. I think I'm gonna play it. It looks like fun. I don't mind. Like, you know, I just get to do some more Kratos combat, and I'm really liking that word "free" attached to it, 'cause those aren't PlayStation moves typically. So that's real cool. And it's just like, here's this DLC update. Go ahead. But then that makes me think something else. God of War is gonna be announced soon, because it feels like they're doing this to put God of War back in your mind.
Yeah.
Right? Like, hey, we'll go replay, like, you know, play it some more, because something else is gonna be coming out. Like, I feel like this is supposed to be accompanied with some announcement of Loki's.
I don't mind doing a Loki or Atreus DLC. I don't think I really want to see them do another God of War full game this soon, because it'll scream like just a continuation of the same stuff, but I don't think the mechanics would change too much. I don't think not like it, if anything, it will look kind of like you just continued the game, maybe like Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, but it's like there's not going to be much next gen about it though. I think it'll still be like keep going the same.
I just want. I feel like the gameplay is going to be the same, but I don't know how much they could reasonably change it up to a degree. Like, I don't see how the mechanics can be that much different. I think I'm more interested in what new.
What I would like to see is them go back to the way God of War moved in the first 3 games from PS2 to PS3 with today's graphics. Just change it back, because it wasn't bad, and they could get away with it. And that's a way where they can like keep it fresh. Yeah, so I would like to see that. But as far as like for this generation, maybe a DLC or two. Atreus DLC is fine. I'm gonna be honest though, I don't know if I will get the Atreus DLC. If they do a DLC and it's like there's more of both Atreus and Kratos, then I might be interested. But Atreus DLC, I'm not really interested, to be honest. But
I still play it. So
I might watch it. I don't know if I'll play it.
I'll play that, and I need to get into Horizon. I've been wanting games where it's like you could be an archer. Fighting is also satisfying, more of like a green arrow sort of thing. And it feels like these are the two options. It is Atreus or Horizon.
Yeah. To go into a topic that kind of goes along with this, apparently The Last of Us Part Two's DLC will not be free, but it's going to do the same thing, which is kind of interesting. And funny enough, I'm actually interested in that slightly, mainly because of the zombie aspect. I was seeing some like early gameplay from people, and I do see a lot more of them just fighting hordes of enemies than zombies. So that kind of turns me off a little bit because I would want to just play a horror mode where I'm fighting the zombies. I was like more wanting to fight them than the humans, but they do have it at where it's going at levels, and then at one point you do go against the Rat King again, and that was like a selling point for me, was the Rat King. I do like that. At least if you own the game, it's supposed to be a $10 upgrade whenever they actually have this release. I actually think this was releasing like in the second week in January, but will I pay the $10? I'm not too sure yet. I don't know, because I think just going through the PS4 version of the game is good enough. I don't think I want to replay it as the PS5 version. Only the roguelike thing is what stands out to me. But I'm still a fan of the zombie game. It reminds me of, like, we're gonna get to a topic later on, I guess, with Godzilla, where it's just like I don't want to see that many people in a Godzilla movie, right? And it's like I didn't want to like fight more people in a zombie game.
How many times have I said that?
So yeah, but we'll see how that is. I wonder how it rates, because $10 ain't that bad. But I think if you are getting this straight up, you're gonna pay full price, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. Either $50 or full price, but I'm pretty sure people can go to GameStop or something and find Last of Us Part 2 used and just pop the disc in and pay the extra $10 and you'll get the updates. Once this is released, though, I will definitely confirm if you can like put both discs in, similar to Horizon, so that you could probably even go half and half with a friend or something, and do it that way and get the PS5 version without going full price or whatever, because there's 2 discs on the PS4 version, and I think both of them trigger the upgrade. But we'll see. I'm still gonna check that out when this comes out. I think this comes out in the second week in January, right? Yeah. Well, Last of Us Part 2 PS5 version. I think it's the second week in January.
Yeah, January 19th.
Okay, well that might be third week, but anyway, it's around the corner, and I will confirm if you can finesse the system. I'm always finessing the system, always. So I would still consider this, not necessarily bad news for PlayStation. This is more of a good news for PlayStation, just to add more to gaming. There is still a way to pay this for just $10 and not pay like full price, but depending on how you look at this, the bad news for PlayStation is centered around Bungie. Did you hear about what was going on with Bungie?
And, from my understanding, please correct me if I'm wrong, PlayStation's gonna like fully acquire them, and that means more people are about to be let go.
Kinda. I think what's happening is like Bungie on their own is all of a sudden losing so much revenue that they're not even going to be like able to like sustain themselves. And so PlayStation is taking over the overhead to stop them from like shutting down almost completely. And it was a little weird to hear some of this stuff, because I'm like, that many people couldn't have jumped off of Destiny. I don't think that, like, could it really have been that many people just not playing it? Like overnight? It seems strange, but
I think something happened where their Lightfall DLC, they said a lot of people fell off then.
Yeah.
People just didn't really like it. And then they were releasing their other one, but then it wasn't ready. So they were like, sorry, we're going to have to extend some of the things. Fell off. I think a lot of people for that new last DLC and then even by the time it came out, I think it came out, people just didn't really go back to it.
Yeah. Um, that's just so crazy to hear because this was supposed to be like one of their big investments or acquisitions. It wasn't a real acquisition anyway, but it probably is now though. It's kind of a real acquisition, but I don't know if PlayStation could consider the $3 billion or whatever like them getting their money's worth. Because like now they kind of have to bleed a little money just to keep them going, you know. But yeah, that's what we're saying. I don't know if it's really a developing story or this is the end of the story and PlayStation just completely owns them and then they'll be okay. But we'll see. I don't know how this would affect Marathon as a game, but hopefully that's still on track. But yeah, I don't know. It seems strange. We had a lot of good coming out this week, but then PlayStation somehow still gets some bad news every now and then.
Yeah, it has to happen.
But shout out to at least God of War's DLC being free.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. That's the good news. That's the good news. It's not all bad. That's the good news here. Yeah. You want to tell me about you want to tell me what's going on with Dead by Daylight? Let's just go ahead and go there.
So this was also announced at the Game Awards. So Supermassive, the company that known for Until Dawn or the Dark Pictures anthology games, and Behavior Interactive, the guys who make Dead by Daylight, are doing a spin-off game. It's a single-player game called The Casting of Frank Stone. So it's a story set in the Dead by Daylight universe about a group of teens trying to survive, like monster, and you can see that the like setup is shouting out heavy Dead by Daylight. So there's this dark like entity in the sky whenever the lightning strikes, which is supposed to be the entity of the game. There's like hook designs and stuff everywhere, which is part of the big game mechanic of hooking the survivors and stuff. So I'm interested to see where this goes. I'm super excited to play this game. And if it does well enough, hopefully they can team up to maybe do like individual stories of the different killers and survivors, maybe within the game. So it's like because there's certain survivors that are tied to certain killers. So if they can do stuff where it's like short stories of like a collection of different survivors and villains to see like origin stories and stuff like that trying to survive it, I think that would be real cool.
All right, bet. So Dead by Daylight is a huge franchise. It seems like it's getting ready to outlive what is the game called? The Texas Chainsaw Massacre one?
Oh, for sure. That the Chucky gameplay has been funny. Like I've had to face off against Chucky a few times. It is the scariest thing because it's like footprints will be just like running around and you can see it in the rain, and then it'll suddenly stop, and you're like, either he's sneaking around or he's close by, and then he'll just be there. One of the funniest things is when you drop the pallet, try and run, he can just like scurry under it, and keep chasing you, and it's harder to hit him with the flashlight because you got to aim at the ground and everything. So he's a fun killer to try and face off against. He moves so.
Hey, that's what's up. Good for Dead by Daylight. I think they here's a franchise that doesn't need to copy Fortnite, but can still kind of survive and have elements where it's like we're getting the best of what we do, like the best of what they're known for, and not just take every franchise. Period. Yeah. So that's what's up for them. I guess moving right along. I'm trying to look at what we could cover before this Game Awards because that Game Awards thing is gonna take a lot. I think.
You want to talk about we got two things: Godzilla or the one topic that I brought up about which game this year you still want to play.
All right. I think we can start with the Godzilla one. That could
All right.
be real fast. So
So Godzilla X Kong, the new Empire, got a trailer.
yes.
What'd you
Um
think?
I think it's fine. I think it's cool for what it is. There are some things that looked a little odd, like the King Kong, I guess, having a bunch of armor, I guess, or not really a bunch. I can't say a bunch. It wasn't a
He had
bunch. It was just like his hand thing, and then
Yep.
he's still carrying the axe. The axe is kind of like okay, he could still carry the axe because it's kind of like part of his character at this point. I who made the hand? Like, are we saying the humans made it? The ones that know about the
Yeah, I
secret
think
place?
Monarch. Yeah, probably with the ones who were down there. It was like that's not Kong. Probably Kong got hurt, and they were like, "Here's your glove to help me save us as he's attacking the beach."
Yeah. I am gonna watch it obviously, but I'm more hyped about Godzilla -1, which is hot in theaters right now. But I'm gonna watch both of them probably when they come out on digital services slash DVD or slash Blu-ray. Probably gonna watch it then. I don't know if I'm gonna go to the theater, but hot film, very hot film. -1 is like considered one of the best films of the year. Surprisingly enough, and I think they had like a
Yeah,
really small budget too. Like their budget wasn't really that high at all. Um, and it's like they're making a lot of money off of that thing. Um,
which is great. It got an extended theatrical run because of how popular it
yeah,
is.
yeah. Because when I hear that, it's like, oh, they keep it in the theaters for me. I gotta go out there, so maybe I gotta figure out if I could. I don't know. Like I don't have that much time during the day like that anymore. So I'm most likely gonna end up just watching it here. But huge Godzilla fan. I'm a huge fan of like the figures and action figures and stuff. I like to go look at them. Only the Godzilla ones managed to stay in the toy aisle like relatively all year round. Like I don't know, like from the last movie to this movie, like they're still there. Like a lot of them are still there. There's still some like Transformers and other stuff there too, but like the Godzilla stuff still managed to still be in the stores. So I don't know. Maybe Godzilla got a bigger fan base than I would have thought of. It's not just the niche people here and there, but yeah,
Everybody loves Godzilla.
more power to them. More power to them. Um, and yeah, go ahead. What was your question? You had a question you wanted to
Got a
ask.
question that yeah, is there any video game uh that I think it was that's already out that you're super interested on still playing? So what already released game are you most looking forward to
Um,
playing? Maybe not necessarily that you already bought it, but it's out and you're just like, yeah, I can't wait to play that.
I I'm kind of going through the Resident Evil series right now, so I know like I can answer this question in three ways. So there, as just a series, I'm more excited to like complete all of the Resident Evil games as a whole in the play order. Well, I might jump around a little bit because some of the games I only have through PS. Well, Resident Evil 7 I have through PS Plus. I'm gonna jump out of order to play that because I'm still trying to play as much of that as possible, and then go back into order. So as a series, I'm more excited to play Resident Evil. Um, in co-op, I am looking forward to, surprisingly enough, Lords of the Fallen, I believe it's
Okay.
called, because I felt like the Souls like co-op experience was stolen from me, aka Code Vein messing up. And I feel like that's probably gonna get played sometime next year, maybe late next year when the game drops. Hopefully I could do that on PC and have like it being recorded at the same time, get really good footage, where I can keep cutting it and like in real time every 30 minutes. Um,
Okay.
and then for the actual drum roll of a game I'm looking forward to playing. Technically, it's two, but the main one is technically older, depending on how you look at it. But it was Bloodborne, and the reason is because it's still one of those PS Plus games that I didn't own yet, and I wanted to pick it up right after we finished Remnant 2. I didn't want to do more than one Souls game at a time, but
Makes sense.
the PS Plus games that I'm trying to like finish is like mainly their real greatest hits and stuff from the PS Plus collection, as well as all the PS Plus games. I got about a little over a year to finish them all. I'm not gonna close down my PS Plus altogether. I think I'm gonna probably stick to some of those 3 months things. Cause those seem to go on sale sometime. But they did away with the full year one, and like was trying to make it to where it only adds money to your account and not actually count. And I'm just like, all right, as long as you're doing that, it kind of turns me off of it. Plus the PS Plus games haven't been that great. So I don't know if I want to pay $80 into that. It just doesn't seem worth it. So I'm just trying to run through them. But Bloodborne would be one of them. For if I was to choose a game that I fully own, I think in February I wanted to play. Well, technically I don't own one of them, but I wanted to play Hogwarts Legacy. I do own that, but I wanted to pair it with the Lego Hogwarts or Lego Harry Potter game that I don't own that's under PS Plus, and play them both at the same time. One big game, one smaller game. In February, because it'll be exactly 1 year afterwards, and I'm pretty sure whatever is going on with it was patched out by the end. And so, yeah.
Okay.
So it's a few. I answered it. I didn't narrow it down, but yeah. What would you say?
Main ones.
All right.
Right. So it wouldn't be fair to say Baldur's Gate 3 because I started that already. So I just want to dive back in. I'm trying to do it where it's like I play a very long session once a week, like an actual D&D campaign. And then every year I try to get through one of the Uncharted games because I started playing those. Really fun, but it's like I didn't want to overwhelm myself. Like, okay, I'm sick of them. So right now I'm on Uncharted 3. Apparently playing that, but the two that, and funny enough, I have both of these, but I'm excited to play them, is Star Wars Jedi Survivor, because I just love Star Wars and I'm ready to dive back into the Star Wars world. And Persona 5 Tactica. It's another one where it's just, I love these characters, the Persona 5 characters and everything, and I'm ready to like, the adventure around them again. So, seeing the dynamic between the characters, I've been really into a lot of the turn-based stuff, and like the more strategy turn-based. So it's not just the across each other ones, but I also like the ones where you have to like position around and things like that. So I'm excited to do that here. So I think those are the main two that I'm really interested in getting into.
Okay. There was one thing I guess I can mention. Apparently, just like GTA, Persona 6 apparently has some leaks. I don't know if it's fake. Apparently they were real. I haven't really looked at anything. I don't necessarily feel like I need to address it that much, but I just know there was some leaks, I guess. But for anybody who is looking to avoid that, there was another game that was like announced at the Game Awards that could hold you over at least. And you don't have to worry about that Persona 6 leak for right now. You could play Persona 5 Tactica, and then you could play the other game that I'm going to mention later on. But before we get to that, I do want to just go ahead and go through the unofficial sponsor stuff, Epic Games in the very beginning.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Out to our unofficial sponsor, Epic Games. I don't know. I've been like very upset with PlayStation. Like I've been very like noticeable of just like y'all increased the price, and then for like 30 months straight, I've like not liked the PlayStation Plus like offering of games like the extra. I had Sea of Stars in it, but that was and I plan on actually buying that game because I want to devs. But other games like the free games have not been great. but like the epic games, like especially this one, I think because we already knew what was coming out this week, and you're about to talk
Yeah.
about it. That to me is already better than like the last 3 months of PlayStation. Shout out to Epic.
Yeah, I just want to mention with Epic Games, one of the games was a game that I ultimately was not going to buy during Black Friday, but initially I was choosing to. I just chose not to at the last minute. And then, like, I found out, like, I want to say a day or two later that the game was going to be released on the Epic Games. So that game is Giga Bash. We just talked about Godzilla, but Godzilla is also in this game in the DLC. So just so you're aware, when you download this Giga Bash, you're gonna download the base game. It's not gonna come with the DLC, but now you don't have to pay the full price. You could just buy the DLC separate, and you can buy the Kaiju DLC, which is gonna come with I believe not just Godzilla, but then also Destroyer, Mecha Godzilla, and one other guy I can't think of. And then they have the Ultraman one, which has like 4 characters in itself as well. So both DLCs is like $10 each. I'm pretty sure if you just leave this, in your list and you wait a little bit, they're probably going to be like $5 each at some point. That's what I'm hoping for. That's what I'm waiting around for. Because I don't necessarily need to play this right away, but it was something that was on my list. Giga Bash, and mainly because I wanted to just play a Godzilla game, period. And the PS4 game apparently didn't get that much print, and the average one was going for like over $300 online or something crazy like that, and it was also considered a bad game. It's like, ugh. So that's one of them that's available from now into December 13th. And then the other game was Predecessor, also available until December 13th. So you can go and get both of those games now. And just like what I said plenty of times before, you just need to have a profile, and you can log into that profile on any PC system, including the handhelds, and you'll be able to play anything that you have already saved. You don't need to have a PC right now to do that, and you don't need to update or put any type of payment information on there. You could just simply claim all the games. And I think they're getting ready to start doing their mystery Christmas thing now, which in the past, I think that lasted for like around 20 plus days or something, or it might be less than that. But the next game, I technically won't know what it is because it just says it's a mystery game starting on the 13th of December, and it usually reveals itself around 11 a.m. I would say definitely check then, but you might want to check every day. I think they're going to start doing their everyday releases now, because they do that around Christmas, and usually 1 or 2 games is really, really good AAA games from the past, and some of them don't even really be that old. I think last year they did Death Stranding at one point. They definitely did like a Dishonored game at one point. And I know they did the Evil Within 1 and 2 during this past Halloween. But I expect them to do like one good AAA game and then a whole bunch of, games that they normally do. But it's going to be every day leading up to Christmas. So I'll report what they like gave away next week probably. But a lot of them would have been expired by then. But yeah, cool for Epic to really start handing out a bunch of free stuff. I really like that. I plan on getting a really, really beefy PC, I think right after the winter. And I want to start really trying this stuff out and like posting like a lot of gameplay clips on camera and everything. I want to try to have all that down packed by then. But yeah, man, you excited about these mystery games? You got any predictions? I think it's going to be about 15. How many days we got to Christmas? Started from the 13th to Christmas, I think. So that's like 10 or 11 12? Probably. Yeah, something 12? Like that.
I mean, it makes sense if it's 12 days of Christmas.
Okay, then that's probably what it is, from the 13th to Christmas.
Yeah. I don't have any predictions, but I do think one of them is going to be like a major game where you're like, really? Y'all giving this away for free? Like, I feel like there's
Yeah.
gonna be one that's really like that that you're just gonna have to catch. Uh, and everything else will be there'll probably be some really cool indie games like it'll step up. Some ones I feel like it's gonna be ones that are on people's wish list that they just didn't necessarily grab yet.
I'm excited because a lot of indie games have been hitting my wish list lately because I've been covering a lot of them.
Uh,
And the video I just released technically today, as of this recording, is pretty much everything we're going to get into from the Game Awards that I picked out. And I
Okay.
wouldn't be surprised if some of those games get released on this Epic Games list. Not this year, but maybe next year or the year after. Because Epic is just doing a good job of releasing stuff. Shout out to all the Fortnite players. You all the real ones. Because I haven't really been buying into Fortnite at all. But thank you to y'all who have. Because
Yeah.
I'm reaping some of the reward here. But anyways, we can move on. Here's our super main event. The biggest show of the year for gamers, I guess. The WrestleMania for gamers, the NBA playoffs for gamers, the Super Bowl for gamers. Is it all of that, or am I overdoing it? I don't know.
A little bit too much, but it's fine.
I'm overdoing it. Maybe some of the Nintendo fans don't agree with that. Hogwarts fans obviously don't agree with that. But I guess we could go over the awards itself. Can you pull up that list I gave you in Discord?
Yeah, I got
Maybe.
it.
I know I'm not gonna bore anybody with the esports stuff. I'm pretty sure nobody care. Content of the content creator of the year, it probably wasn't gonna be me because I kind of abandoned y'all for about a year, so it wouldn't be
Messed
me.
up.
Uh,
Messed up.
but we don't got to go over that. But it don't really matter. Which one, whatever one you want to go through, man. We can just. I'll follow your lead
Are we
on this.
saving the biggest one for the end?
We can. It don't matter.
Okay. So, game direction. Let's start there.
All right. All right.
Awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction. The winner was Alan Wake.
Now maybe I was harsh on Alan Wake for a while. I'm gonna reserve judgment until I get to that particular game. It didn't. They won more than one award, but they didn't sweep. Like I thought. I really thought they was gonna use it as a band-aid and they was gonna really sweep a little bit. Maybe I can understand them winning at least one thing. It was like, okay, you know what? Fine. So they can have it. That's fine.
What about the fact? So I feel like out of the games chosen for being creative and innovative,
Yeah.
I think story-wise it did look creative because I haven't played it, so it looks
Mm-hmm.
creative enough that I don't feel like it was like misplaced. Now, best narrative, it also won, and best
Okay.
art direction. So for best narrative,
So it swept a
won
little
against-
bit there. Yeah.
Yeah, Baldur's Gate 3, Cyberpunk. Okay, I'm just gonna say I don't think Phantom Liberty should have been allowed to be in any. It's a DLC. It's not a game.
Yeah, that one won an award. I felt like out of all of them, that one shouldn't have been there or shouldn't have won like the most outside of maybe Spider-Man for the same reasons.
For best
But-
narrative, for the storytelling,
Yeah.
between Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Cyberpunk, Final Fantasy 16, and Spider-Man 2, I'm a little biased because out of this list, I've only played 2 of these.
Mhm.
And one of them I'm nowhere near completing it. I think that one could have been a Spider-Man 2. I understand the parts that people were upset about.
Yeah.
But the overarching story, I think, was like fantastically done. I love the Venom portrayal. I love how they did a lot of the story in it. That I feel like it kind of I feel like the positives of the story strongly outweigh the negative.
Okay.
So, but I haven't played Alan Wake 2, so maybe the narrative is.
But you're saying like the strong part outweighs the negative. There wasn't really too much negative said about the story for Alan Wake though.
True.
The only thing I was just saying is I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not even trying to throw shade at it because I still like the series. I just don't know for Alan Wake 2 who the fan base really was. Like it doesn't.
Okay.
I feel like it was something that the industry was pushing, but I don't think it has the army behind it as like all the other games did. Especially some of the games that just didn't make it. That's why I was just like, I didn't understand how it was in so many categories when they first announced the Game Awards. But I don't have to just throw complete shade at it like that. It just to me like it was a fun game, the first one and stuff. I can't really speak on Alan Wake 2. I just talking about the series. I just don't think it's in that category of like game of the year. I think it was just a good game. I just don't know if I would have put it, because even with it being there, it was like the last place one to a lot of people. If you was to really look at all 6 games, and I'm like, well, if it's in last place for each category to the audience, I don't know if it should really just be there. that's just how I looked at it. But it was still there. It was still there. More power to it, and it won a few of them. So
yeah. Shout out for the best performance. That went to the guy from Baldur's Gate 3.
Okay.
He was emotional. I don't know if you heard, like, you saw his acceptance speech, but he was tearing up, and then when at the end of the show he was crying, like it was like, homie, like bring it in a little, like relax him, like he was emotional.
I should probably mention. So I watched the trailers of everything that was supposed to be world premieres, and then some of the stuff that we've seen before, but I didn't watch any award accepting speech or any. I didn't watch none of it. I just saw the list and was done with it.
Okay,
I didn't want to watch. Yeah.
Watched the show at like 1.5 speed after.
Okay.
I was working and just had that on in the background.
Okay.
So jumping around, Sea of Stars won Best Indie Game, rightfully so.
Okay.
So shout out to them. Cyberpunk 2077 won Best Ongoing Game. I don't feel like that's fair.
I kind of had to challenge that one.
I feel like Genshin Impact ongoing,
Yeah.
Fortnite ongoing, Apex Legends is ongoing. Cyberpunk 2077 is just now fit.
Yeah,
right?
it's like
even No Man's Sky to me is ongoing. Like those first year it was being fixed. Now it's ongoing. But like this one, like nah.
Yeah, it didn't make a lot of sense to me. It was just one of those games where everybody initially bought it and then they put it on the shelf and waited. I can't say it's ongoing. They just picked it up later. It's no different than if I buy a bunch of games like on Black Friday, but I don't touch one or two of them until this upcoming summer. That doesn't mean it was ongoing. I just didn't touch it. And that's the one that really was a little strange to me. But they didn't like turn their award show into a PR nightmare overall, but that was still one of them where I still felt like I couldn't agree with that at all. But it's whatever.
We called it for best adaptation. Was gonna be The Last of Us.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's competition, but wasn't really all that. But
I recently re-looked at a couple of clips, the bloater clip, on YouTube, and I guess they are still getting started on their filming for season 2.
Yes.
But I'm not really sure if I'm going to go through. The only thing I want to see, just like last time, is the Rat King. It's like this time around though, I might like just watch that episode. I don't even know if I really want to go through the whole thing. I just want to see the Rat King, because I am one of those people who is way more invested in the zombie and the gameplay than the story.
Like the relationship stuff.
It was like they overdid it. It wasn't like part 2 just wasn't realistic to me. Like there's no way you were going to explain to me that there was a love triangle on both sides at the same time and 2 people pregnant at the same, like it doesn't seem like it was realistic at all. But the first game, I definitely liked the story for what it was. Even with the TV show taking their liberties, overall they reached their destination point the way they should have. They just was twisting little things here and there. But the second season, I'm not really interested in watching it though.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
there's
will
only,
check in. They better put that Rat King in there and give him his just desserts, and some of the
yeah.
other ones too. Yeah,
So there's only 3 more categories that I think we can talk about.
sure.
One, your game won for games for impact. Chia.
Hey, shout out to Chia.
Yeah. So that was nice to see. Best audio design went to Hi-Fi Rush, and I felt like that was obvious because
Yeah,
its competition was Alan Wake 2, Dead Space Remake, Marvel Spider-Man 2, and Resident Evil 4 Remake. And I feel like for the other ones, the music is like, oh, this is interesting. I think Sea of Stars had better music than some of these, where the audio design, I guess, is for atmosphere. But Hi-Fi Rush, the audio was part of the gameplay because did you have to do things on beat?
yeah. Shout out to Hi-Fi Rush. We gonna get into some of the other stuff, but there was a lot of people saying this was the unofficial Xbox show, basically, because a lot of stuff was favoring Xbox tonight, and I think they won like everything but Starfield was like kind of winning some stuff too.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna get into some of the releases that they announced, but yeah.
Finally, Game of the Year, which I big called it, Baldur's Gate 3. So rightfully so.
I did put out I put out a vid like a few days ago where I think in the video I said last minute that I thought it was probably going to go to one of the 2 Nintendo games. My reasoning though was that it was going to have the least amount of hate. That was my reason. It wasn't even so much about the games, but if it was the way it was supposed to be, where it's just like they're going based on the game itself, then yeah, Baldur's Gate 3 would have been the game. I just thought that maybe the Nintendo ones was a little bit more popular and more notable to the larger masses. That's why I was thinking it was going to be probably one of them. But again, that was more of a political reason, though. Like, I think it would have been some of the games that was not here was for a political reason. So, yeah. Baldur's Gate 3, I'm happy that it won, though. I'm happy that it won. There was an elephant in the room that a lot of people was addressing. Apparently, like Spider-Man got no awards or something like that. I feel like it probably could have won one of them categories that had nothing to do with the bugs and stuff, but I really still stand firm on they should not have won the Game of the Year award because it would have set a bad example for the industry that they can kind of just quite literally get away with anything, basically. So it didn't.
I feel like
yeah,
it got its just desserts for being nominated in 7 different categories. I feel like it didn't get cheated. Like, I don't see a category where I see a category where it could have won, but I don't see a category where it's like, no, it should have won over this. Like, I see one, like all the ones where it could have technically still won, I felt like could have went either way, and that was like best performance with Yuri Lowenthal. Like, I thought that was great, and some of the visuals of it was great, and I thought, like I said, best narrative. I feel like personally, it was great. But again, I played Spider-Man 2 and I've started Baldur's Gate 3. I didn't play Phantom Liberty, Final Fantasy 16, or Alan Wake 2 to be able to be like it was better than them, like comfortably, and I haven't heard enough to be able to go it was better than them.
Yeah.
So, matter of fact, I've actually heard reasons why you could be like, nah, Spider-Man 2, and I've played the reasons. So I don't feel like it was cheated, personally. Like, I just feel like it rightfully, but was still great enough. It just, like I told you, I feel like it just showed how great of a year this was overall. For gaming. The fact that when you look at the top 5 and top 6, and it can still rightfully lose, and one game that was snubbed and everything is still not in the categories. Like, I still feel like it's fine.
So they had a thing called the Players' Choice Awards, and at one point before we got to the show itself, it was just announced by, I think it was IGN that took the bullet for this, but they was just like Hogwarts Legacy was voted out of the player's choice. It didn't make it into the final 6 or something like that. And I thought that was like bull, basically, because you would have had like there was no announcement that anything else was voted out of it. They only made the announcement for that to like cover the basis for it. And I was like, but you didn't say it for any other game that didn't make the final 6 though. You know? And I'm just like, I don't know if anybody really peeped that.
It was their way of trying to be like, see, Hogwarts isn't that good.
Yeah.
I honestly also feel like the Hogwarts players don't care. Like they probably checked out.
Yeah.
It was just like, I don't care about none of this actually. And
yeah.
that's even coming from someone who I felt like it should have been nominated, but I wasn't gonna say it should have won. I still think Baldur's Gate 3 rightfully won Game of the Year. But I felt like that's a game that got screwed over. Like it didn't get nominated for anything.
Yeah, not getting mentioned to me was like the biggest crime.
Yes.
That was the biggest crime to me. That kind of set me off altogether because it just made the whole thing seem fake. They tried to save face here a couple areas, but that just kind of just was unacceptable to me. I felt like the game, especially long term, is bigger than that situation surrounding the game.
Agree.
So that I didn't like, but yeah.
Like I said before, people are that upset about something that's not necessarily like it's in relation to the world the game is based in, but not the game itself. I feel like the game would have been a way to remove that world from the person you're mad at.
Right.
Right? If she has nothing to do with the game, other than like they're using her intellectual property, you can now champion this world and be behind this world because of the game, and you can ignore her now. Right? And separate. It's like, well, we're not using her characters, we got our own characters. Right?
Yeah.
And everything, like you like the one professor that everybody like really liked, Garlic. Like it's like I like Professor Garlic instead of going after like Harry Potter and things like that. You could like remove it, and they just ruined that chance to complain and everything. But someone who wasn't afraid to say stuff was Christopher Judge. Disagree on.
Yeah.
He called out Call of Duty, kind of say he made a joke saying that his speech last year was longer than the Call of Duty campaign. In a way of one, digging at himself because everybody said that he talks too long, but two, making a joke about Call of Duty. And I thought it was hilarious. Call of Duty developers did not.
Yeah, I didn't see the actual moment. I think they may have clipped it, but I didn't see it. I did hear about it though, and I wrote it down to talk about for a second, but I honestly didn't see it. But I just kind of felt like he may have burnt a bridge that he probably shouldn't have if you just look at the business aspect. That was my whole thing. But I don't care about it too much. I don't even know if I'm ever gonna actually go look.
So as someone who watched it, it was like one passing line, and basically he was like, he made like 4 to 5 comments mocking the fact that he's too long, and then one comment making fun of Call of Duty, and then moved on to like actually present the presentation. And to me, it was funnier that Call of Duty devs are up online, like basically going, "Well, Call of Duty makes more money than God of War, though," and it's just like, why are you like? Everyone would have forgot about it if you didn't like get all mad, or somebody else going like, "We've heard it all before. It's just crazy that in a day we're supposed to be celebrating gaming, you would come out and make fun of us." And it was just like, it was one joke, relax and on. Like it was the one joke.
Yeah.
Move on. Like everyone else would have forgotten about it. I actually forgot about it by the end of the night until I started seeing articles saying Call of Duty devs are mad. And I'm like, oh yeah, he did say something. Like it was like way early in the night. So it was like, okay, relax. And it's like it's not his fault your campaign was only 3-4 hours long. Relax. It's fine.
Yeah, I think there was a couple other things that happened that wasn't too much related to gaming. I guess there was a showing of the Fallout TV show that is going to be a part of Amazon Prime.
Yep.
And I'm not really sure if they have a due date for it, but I just know it's an Amazon Prime thing and it's going to come out soon. I remember seeing the dude with his nose cut off, like screenshots of that for a while. And I guess they just,
Red Skull
yeah,
from
it was just disturbing. I was like, I don't really want to see your face that much, but yeah. So that's going to be a Fallout show. Big deal for Fallout, I guess. And then right before we get into some of the releases, I did see something where people were complaining, was something that I thought was more of a complaint before, where not so much Christopher Judd, but apparently like the rest of the people who were accepting awards were all in a like you have to speed it up kind of thing, and were almost rushed is what I was seeing.
Yes, which even Judge was kind of rushed, but like he made it a joke where he was like, "Guys, don't worry, I won't speak so long." And he made a joke. He's like, "All right, they're telling me to hurry up." Like it's like a joke thing,
Yeah.
as well. But then later, even somebody else when they were giving their speech, I think the dude from Larian was like, "Yeah, sorry, they're telling me to hurry up." And then he gave a thank to the crowd, and it was kind of noticeable because he was like tearing up and like thanking the crowd about like all emotional stuff. But you could tell like right before he was just told to hurry up, so they were rushing.
Yeah, but like they still give like the extra time when it came down to like the celebrities though. That's what I was hearing. Which are just kind of there because they're celebrities and not
Also
necessarily like within, like some of them were still in games, but
well,
yeah.
some of them though, like so Anthony Mackie, he's the lead for the Twisted Metal TV series. Matthew McConaughey was introducing a game that he voices the lead for. Timothy Chalamet didn't take up much time. He was introduced as like his old gamer tag and everything. But like I can't remember that many other celebrities, but I know they had like 3 or 4 musical performances.
Okay. Yeah. I did see I don't know if I mentioned it, but I saw the Hellblade 2 2024 live performance. That's how I wrote it down. I don't know why I said 2024 out loud, but yeah. I saw that. It was okay. It was kind of demonic, that's kind of what you expect, but it was all right.
Yeah.
It was all
I
right.
think as I mentioned to you, the Final Fantasy performance, the one lady who was singing had a beautiful voice. And shout out to her. Like
I didn't catch that one. Was that like the performance of the night, like where they was doing like the song from within one of the games or something?
Yes, that was the performance for the song within one of the games. Not the one where they summarized the game of the years. It was just the one where it's like a performance from in-game. And it got me to stop working for a second to look up. Like, it was just, he had a nice voice.
You cried?
So shout out to her. No.
Okay. My co-host cried, y'all. All right,
there was one thing, though, where she was done singing, and then it was kind of like music playing. And again, I was playing it at 1.5 speed. And then she's just, like, awkwardly standing there with the microphone while, like, the music's still playing. And I think her singing part was just done. But she's still front and center. And she's just, like, looking at the crowd. And it was, like, super awkward. And again, mine was sped up, so I can imagine it being a little bit slower. It's like, oh, that's worse.
Oh man. Well, let me get to the cool part of the night. This was the stuff that I had gathered.
Yes.
I will say again, I did put out a vid, I guess, that showed off everything that was the stuff that I wanted to see or that I'm going to play. That's brand new that we haven't seen before. But there are some stuff here that we have seen before. One of them was in my, like, I want to say, like, most anticipated games list at one point. It still is, but it got pushed back a year, I guess, or I guess it just wasn't like announced for 2023. This was Black Myth Wukong.
Skull and Bones.
Yeah, it has a real release date now.
Yeah, and it looked good.
Yeah, it looked very good. It was something that I have been following for a while. I'm gonna be honest, some of the gameplay that they showed for it beforehand looked a lot better than like official gameplay that was shown for other games, And I was like, I wonder how much longer did they need, because it looked polished enough, especially when they were showing like Unreal Engine 5 stuff like early last year. But they showed what looked to be more of like story trailer stuff, and then it has a concrete release date now. It's still further out, but they gave themselves enough time, and I appreciate it. It's going to come out August 20th, 2024. I might end up playing this officially around my birthday time, because it's in that area. And I will probably still pick this up day one, though. And probably use the GameStop like discount for it and my own discount to really chop this thing down, because I'm pretty sure it's going to be $70. But I got plenty of time to prepare, so that's going to be this upcoming August. And Suicide Squad showed his ugly face again with a story trailer. This one, yeah,
an offline story will be released post game.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know if it's 100% dead on arrival, but it still had a certain amount of hate from what I was seeing from the interwebs. But
you know how everybody hated on Marvel's Avengers, but you're like, I'm still gonna go ahead and like play it.
Yeah.
Like it was like super cheap, you can get for nothing.
Yeah.
That's where my mindset is for this right now. Like it's a DC game, so I want to play it because I'm a DC fanboy.
Yeah.
But by no means is this, unless it comes out and everybody's like, "Yo, we was wrong. This is one of the greatest games ever," which ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
I'm waiting to get it. Long time waiting.
Yeah, I think a lot of people is probably gonna be in that same boat for this. So this game is not gonna survive as far as the online mechanics. And I think they're aware, and they might be wanting to wash their hands with it, because it was quiet, and then it was just like all of a sudden it's just back, and its release date is very soon. So I'm like, all right, well, I think they're finally deciding to get rid of it or be done with it. I still think it's just gonna be kind of goofy if, you're shooting at the Justice League and they're like kind of standing there or whatever. It would be mad hilarious if the Justice League is shooting at you too. But, like I expect it to be more like Outriders, where they're just kind of there doing their thing, and you got to keep shooting them. But if they got guns too, dog, I don't know. I don't know. But
it's just like I said, it still upsets me that
it would be the most hilarious thing to see. But some of the other ones that were more notable. So Budokai Tenkaichi 4 has an official title now. That's not. Yeah, apparently that was their Japanese title this whole time. I think it would have been a better idea to go with the Budokai Tenkaichi name just for
I agree.
I guess marketing sake. I felt the same way about Yakuza, but if they want to stick with the Japanese titles, that's fine, as long as the game itself comes out and is good. I think the smart thing for them to do is to do like some sort of reverse cover where it has the old title on it.
But also them not using the Budokai makes me believe there's a core Budokai mechanic that's not going to be in there. Like there's going to be something that makes it not like the Budokai.
Yeah, there was somebody who was skeptical about this and was saying it was basically Xenoverse 2.5 is what someone was saying.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. I don't know if I'm going to buy that immediately, because I'm one of those people who really wants to have all DLC in one, and they've done it in the past where they held characters off. They showed their super characters, but at the same time, I feel like not everybody's gonna be there from day one.
Also, based off of Xenoverse, sometimes they can't have the character day one because they create the character, like the character comes out and exists after. So it might be a good idea to say, I think there is something like a new series being worked on.
Yeah.
Which might give a reason to wait, because if they're going to adapt in with this new series, then you might as well wait for that.
I have another video I wanted to do where I talked about some of the bigger name stuff from this. Because the video that's out right now really was only on the world premieres that was brand new. But I kind of... Go ahead.
Blade. Blade's getting a game.
Well, yeah, Blade. I did mention that one is more brand new. Yeah, I think that's a very exciting thing. It's going to be done by Bethesda and Arcane.
Which is so what's weird to me is it's in my head. It was like y'all ain't give up vampires yet, like because they just released Redfall, and now it's like and Blade. It's like y'all really sticking with vampires, huh?
Yeah, I guess. Well, so this one should be made by the people who made Deathloop. But I don't know if it's gonna be 100%
People
us.
who made Redfall.
No, Deathloop was or Redfall was I don't know. No, I think it was one of the other developers. It was one of the other teams.
Redfall
Maybe, I don't know. I know Bethesda got 1,000 people. They was also made by Arcane.
Yep. So
Okay.
Arcane made. I remember that was the big deal that people kept saying they made. Yeah, because they made Dishonored, Dishonored 2,
Yeah.
Prey, Wolfenstein Youngblood, and
Maybe they had
Redfall.
maybe they put more energy towards this than Redfall, I guess.
I can imagine so, because I know there was a whole thing about how Arcane is great at like single player stuff, and we're kind of forced to make it a multiplayer shooter that they did not want to do, but Blade is going to be back to a single player thing.
Yeah, it's also supposed to be third person as well.
I feel like this is going to be the vampire game they wanted to make before they were forced to make Redfall.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know if this is going to be. I think this is probably going to be something like 2026, maybe 27. I don't think this is like going to get rushed at all. Okay. Like I think you would technically see Wolverine before you see Blade. But yeah, Blade is still gonna be. I think it's gonna be good. I think it's gonna be good, interesting. The voice actor, I mean, he didn't sound like Wesley Snipes, so it's not fair. But it would have been cool if they could have got Wesley Snipes, but that's all right. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's a really hot topic. Yeah.
Do you think they're trying to get someone who sounds more like a Asherla Ali, like the new Blade?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Oh, and I see what you're saying. So basically, there's Arcade Austin and Arcade Lion.
Mm-hmm.
And Deathloop was made by Arcade Lion. Redfall is Arcade Austin. And Arcade Lion is making Marvel.
Yeah, it's Bethesda has like a oil machine over there where they got some people working on one thing, some people working on another. Because I think Bethesda is also still supposed to they're still supposed to handle the Indiana Jones game. The kind of like information about it kind of went quiet for a second, but I'm pretty sure that was supposed to go to Bethesda as well. So we'll see at some point, but yeah, Blade got a big pop from the trailer that I saw. It still had the crowd in the background. It got a really nice pop. So I think a lot of people are excited about it. A couple games that were brand new that was shown right before this, that kind of prompted me into making the video. There was one called Tales of Kenzura Zhao. I think I said that right. I don't know, but it looked like a 2D Black Panther kind of game. I thought it was dope and everything, and there was some stuff here and there I was just kind of like, huh? But like it still looked pretty dope.
We'll say I know most people won't care, but like the main actor for this came out, and apparently it was from what he was saying, it was like an idea that he was always a gamer, and it was something that him and his dad thought about, and I guess his dad passed away, so the game is kind of in honor of him.
Okay.
To like a degree, so it's like it's more like a vision that him and his dad came up with together, and then he showed the gameplay, and I was like, yo, this actually look good though.
So that has a release date of April 23rd, 2024. It's kind of Metrovania style. I think that the graphics look more like Crash Bandicoot 4 to me. Yeah. It kind of looks like that. I remember I said it in the video, and then I actually edited it out of the video because I thought that was like something you probably shouldn't say. But I'll say it here because it's just talking, but I think it had the same graphic style. Gameplay wise, it was still more 2D, action packed, Metrovania style action. And so it's on my list to get. The next game that I saw where I was like, you know what, I gotta record, because going forward it might be a bunch of games that I like. It was called the First Berserker Kazan. When I saw that, I was just like, you know what, man, I gotta record this video. And so
That looked great.
yeah, it looked like it is inspired by God of War a little bit. They were really, like, they had him showing his hands up there, and like you could see like when they were like removing the chains, almost exactly like that. So it was like they were showing their inspiration to it. A lot of blood. I don't know how gory it's gonna be, but I am gonna play that one for sure. That was another one that was like brand new. I think in my video it was like 14 games that I like mentioned. I don't think I wrote them all down here, so I don't have to mention all of them. There's more detail in that one anyway, so definitely just go watch that. But if I could just go through a few of them, the next two was like The Last Sentinel and then The First Descendant. Both of these had like robots in them and stuff, and The Last Sentinel was looking more post-apocalyptic with some like RoboCop and what's the other one? Terminator. I was about to say Transformer. Terminator kind of looking thing going on, but then the lady saved him. The First Descendant was like a Titan-sized, Megazord-sized robot that was like lasering off mountains and stuff, trying to catch them and stuff. And I was just like, you know what? It's kind of cool, but we got some robot action going on. It's a lot of robot action. They kind of reminded me, like, because of the suits of Returnal in The First Descendant, it kind of looked like that. Another game, like, later on, Exodus, looked like Returnal as well. And I think Exodus was the one that had, like, a really nice, like, story trailer that made it look more of a relationship kind of thing between a dynamic of a guy and a girl. And the guy went at light speed. He moved so far away that I guess in time her life had went all the way through while he was just only a matter of seconds, or however they said it and stuff. So I was like, okay. But that looked like it played like Returnal. I pulled out Wine Blown, which was from the makers of Dead Cells. This was the cartoony looking one that was Wind Blown, my bad. Wind Blown. And it was like a roguelike. It looked like it could have been a cartoon for kids, and then the second they ran off to battle, they all got their heads sliced. Did you see that one?
Yes, I did.
It was I was like, whoa, what is happening here? But yeah. I wrote that down. Now the next one I want to talk about for a second. Metaphor Refantasio. I think I said that right. I don't know. That's from the
Persona makers, right?
Yeah, the makers of Persona. It looks like Persona a lot. I don't think it's connected, but it's
connected in the same way that what's that game called? That I always mispronounce.
So the monsters are connected then, the Shimigami Tensei?
Yeah, that. I think it's
okay.
That's what's connected, like the whole Persona, the
Mm-hmm.
Personas, like those monsters, that's where they're all connected.
Okay. So yeah, like I think I said in the video itself, but for everybody who had just heard that there are Persona 5 leaks, I would say or Persona 6 leaks, I would say just focus on what they're giving you. Like this game, Persona 5 Tactica, Persona 3 Reloaded and stuff, like just play what's there and don't spoil it for yourself. A lot of this stuff was having the Xbox logo with it too. I don't know if this is going to be also in Game Pass, but he did put the logo with it. I think Blade was another discussion people was having about that as well. Really, really wacky, creepiest game I've ever seen at this award. The Kojima project, another Xbox project. OD. I guess they were ODing on the screen because they had like some weird stuff going on with their eyes. They was like
with Jordan Peele.
Yeah, he's partnering with Jordan Peele. And then he's got a couple of actual actors. The guy I recognize, I don't really remember his name. I think they were flashing names on the screen though. Really whacked out looking stuff. Really,
Yes.
really whacked out looking stuff. This is known from the mind of Kojima. I guess he is making this as an Xbox exclusive at the same time he's doing his PlayStation exclusive, or I don't know if it's going to be 100% exclusive, but Death Stranding 2. He's doing both of these games at the same time. I don't know when each one is going to release, but yeah, he's got his hands full. He's doing all of that. So I guess we could jump. I don't know.
Well, I also had a few games real quick that stuck out to me. Those are No Rest for the Wicked, which look like a Diablo sort of like game.
Yeah, that's something I didn't write down, but I did include it. But yeah.
Ready or Not, very interesting for me. It's a tactical first-person shooter, like co-op game, where you're like a SWAT team, and you have to like diffuse situations and everything on like last minute. Like it's like, go, do you just shoot? Do you like try and calm the situation down? Who do you take out? Like it's just go here. You can figure it out. So that looked good. That they showed off. Then there was Den of Wolves. That looked good. Where you're a team, like shooter stuff, and you have to just like adapt to the situation and go. And then Mecha Break, which was like an online multiplayer Gundam, basically. Like you build a robot, like pretty much on some hardcore and fight each other.
Yeah. Also, I think I wanted to mention it looks like they're going to add some more expansion to Warframe, Whispers in the Wall.
That's the game that should win
ongoing. Yeah, it wasn't nominated at all, was it?
Nope.
It would have been interesting if it was nominated, it won, and then they showed this. So yeah. I think another thing I didn't mention. Sega announced it was going to do like a remake of like 5 games. Two of them that stood out to me was Jet Set Radio and Crazy Taxi.
Yep.
But
Jet Set Radio, Crazy Taxi, Streets of Rage, Golden Axe, and Shinobi.
Yeah, they're going to be throwing out some heavy hitters from the past. So that's going to look really good. I'm still really big on Hellblade 2. Well, at this point, I kind of just want to see the game and play the game, but I was appreciative of the actual gameplay footage that they show, because they hadn't really shown the combat since they were showing like the girl throwing the spear at the Titan like last summer or the summer before. But yeah, we've been seeing this game technically little by little for a few years now, so hopefully they get this one out in polished shaped, because it's supposed to come out, I think it was February. A lot of big releases coming out at the start of next year as well. So great time for gaming overall. I think that might have been all the games that I wrote down. One more in particular for me. I also got to mention there was one more game, day one from my co-host, that is Monster Hunter Wilds. My co-host he is like popping, like it was like CM Punk returned or something. He was crying and pointing at the screen when he saw it.
Yeah, okay.
Monster Hunter, wow, they got another Monster Hunter game. I was like, okay, all right, they got a Monster Hunter.
Monster Hunter fans.
All right, and then the last one I think I can mention, I put this last in my video. I was happy that they did a Jurassic Park game. I felt like I got cheated when they took away Second Instinct before I can get to it. It was like, just because I didn't play it immediately didn't mean I didn't want to play it at all. I want to play something with dinosaurs. I still advocating for Dino Crisis to be one of the remakes that Capcom does. But we got a real Jurassic Park game here. None of that stupid city skylines or whatever they was doing was some sort of like park thing or evolution or whatever. Like they made like 2 or 3 of those. I'm like, why are we making that? This is a dinosaur game. You want to shoot and run from it. I don't want to sit here and grow a park of it. So they did it right this time. They threw that out there. they, I guess, was recreating the famous scene from the first movie. The game itself is supposed to take place after the first movie, before the second movie. So I hope they do that in between each one. Just keep doing it. If this catch on, I will probably pay for this as well. I don't think I'm going to get it day one. I want to see more of it first. I want to see how it plays. They kind of just showed the CGI. A lot of the world premieres was all CGI, which was fine because it's their premieres. But I'd like to see more gameplay with everything else going forward. I don't want to see it just be CGI. But yeah, I think that was mainly the Game Awards. I can't really give it a rating because I ain't watched the full show. Would you rate this? What would you rate it?
I mean, some of the announcements were really cool. You know what? They just couldn't rate the game higher because of just all the controversy around Hogwarts Legacy. Well, I can't rate this show higher because of them snubbing Hogwarts Legacy, so it gets a 3 out of 10.
All right.
It was like a 7. It was like a 7. It was
okay. I do want to mention, I guess, impromptu last topic is something that was kind of new. The last topic, but basically it's really tongue in cheek. We ain't even got to spend no time on it at all. But the day before The Last of Us clone was released 2 days ago, apparently everybody think this is a scam. It doesn't have the same content that it was promised from the beginning. It's very, I guess, vacant. It's not as many zombies as it should be.
Yikes.
It's like,
well, I mean, they were avoiding the zombies in the trailer. Maybe it was because they weren't actually there.
Yeah, I don't know, but a lot of people's calling it a scam because I guess they were removing a lot of the footage from stuff from earlier on. I guess the promises that they probably made, because a lot of stuff from the trailers and early stuff is literally not in the game. So it's one of the lowest rated things on Steam right now. And it's kind of dead on arrival. I think Suicide Squad is going to obviously do way better than this, but this one is literally dead on arrival at the very end of the year. Maybe considered one of the worst games of the year, outside of maybe Kong and the Lord of the Rings game. Like if they did a top 5, this would be up there with those two and maybe some other ones. But yeah, reserve judgment. Don't buy things day one. Don't pre-order things until you really know you got something good here. But yeah, that's all I got. You got any last words? We can probably get out of here.
Can't trust nothing out here.
All right, man. That's the Game Awards. We finally got through it. I'm excited for gaming, period. That's the main thing. It's just that there's going to be more games. It looks like the first quarter of 2024 is still stacked anyway. This looks like a lot of stuff was related to Xbox. I'm very, very curious to see how Game Pass and everything's going to be next year, especially heading into the summer. Because Starfield didn't necessarily get that much shine, but it looked like Xbox in general did. So I would like to see what's going to happen going forward. But that's all I got for you here. Leave a like on this video. I will see you next week with more content. Trying to get more videos out. So thank you for the support. And we are out. Peace.